Parents with an autistic child face so many challenges, but they are also looking for ways to help their child.
Dr. Mary Lynch Barbera is the author of Turn Autism Around. It calls attention to an important fact. Parents can make a tremendous impact on their child through behavioral practices taught at home. She's created a toolkit that any parent can use to help remediate and in some cases eliminate some symptoms of autism and other developmental delays in children, even in as little as 15 minutes a day. And she joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
So the diagnosis for autism is now 1 in 50. Years ago, I don't remember how far back we have to go, but it was like 1 in 500, probably because we didn't know how to identify it, correct? So for those parents out there who they feel like something's going on, but they're not sure what, how can they tell if something's going on?
Yeah, so back when my son was diagnosed in 1999, it was 1 in 500, and now it's about 1 in 50. Another statistic to know is that 1 in every 6 children has some kind of developmental disorder, including autism, ADHD, speech disorders. And these things really look very similar in young children, toddlers and preschoolers. So some of the things to look for are language delays, both expressive language delays with talking as well as understanding the world around them, using nonverbal language gestures such as pointing, waving, showing you things. Those are all delayed in kids with early signs of autism usually. Eye contact can be a problem. Babbling, lack of back and forth babbling or imitation. These are all some of the early signs. Another big one for autism is any loss of skills. With my son Lucas, who's now 24 years of age, he lost skills. So he was pointing and speaking a little bit, and then he started to lose some skills. So those are some of the early signs to look for when you are working with, or if you have a child of your own or a grandchild.
You have some tips in there, and I don't know if this is thinking that has not been done. Maybe doctors have been saying this for a long time, but the idea that parents can do little things that really engage their kid and might help bring them out of their shell. Is this stuff that doctors have been saying for years and you're just putting it onto paper?
Well, my journey over the past 2 decades, I felt like I really fell into the autism world. And even though I had a master's degree in nursing, I really had no idea how to teach my son to talk, to reduce problem behaviors, to, any kind of skills. And over the years, I became a board certified behavior analyst, wrote a book. Now I have a second book, Turn Autism Around. So I really feel like I created the book based on what I needed 2 decades ago. Because yes, parents can learn to teach their child to talk or talk more. They can learn really great skills to reduce problem behaviors and tantrums. They can learn how to get their children eating better, sleeping through the night in their own bed.
Let's start with tantrums, because that might even appeal to people whose kids don't have some kind of disability. So go ahead with that tip, because I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so you're right. Tantrums, every child has tantrums, and kids with delays and autism have more tantrums. So in general, my #1 tip is just to be positive, spend 95% of your time preventing problem behavior, and to stop saying no and stop, especially when paired with the child's name. So stop yourself, hear yourself saying, stop that, Johnny, don't touch that, all that negative. We really need to turn things around and be a lot more positive with our kids, whether or not they have autism or any other delays.
Also, when getting kids to talk, you say repeating a word 3 times. That makes a big difference.
Yeah. So my son had some words, but I didn't know how to get those words out of him. So my #1 technique is to use the 1 word times 3 strategy. So say your child wants a banana. Hold the banana up to your mouth and say, banana, banana, banana. Even if they don't echo you or say anything, you're still slowing things down and you're pairing the word with the banana. Also, holding things up to your mouth and your face encourages eye contact.
All right, and what about fostering social play?
Yeah, so the number one mistake I see parents and professionals making when it comes to social and play skills is working on skills that are too difficult for the child, working on things like manners or pretend play. And a lot of times when kids are delayed with language, they're also delayed with play and social skills. So get out some of those toys that may be meant for a younger child, those cause and effect toys, hammer and ball, and see if you can engage your child in those kinds of things. Again, breaking the language down, one-word utterances, slowly animated, and really these techniques can often open up the floodgates, and it's all outlined in my new book. It doesn't matter if it is autism. These are simply ways to engage your child to decrease tantrums, increase language and social skills.
I'm sure people would love to hear how your son's doing at age 24.
Yeah, so Lucas still has moderate to severe autism, and he, I really do believe that if I knew the techniques in my book, that he would be higher on his language level and cognitive functioning. He's safe, he's independent, and as happy as possible, and those are my goals. So the autism spectrum is very wide. I have clients who are now driving, going to college, fully conversational, many of them, but for Lucas, he remains pretty impaired. But I want to give the message of hope that we can really empower parents to turn things around. It's never too early and never too late.
Well, we wish you all the best. Thanks for sharing your story. And if you would like to follow Dr. Barbara on her website and on social media, there's the information. And it's Turn Autism Around. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.